want to talk about with you guys once we kind of get this thing tuned up and running live here. We are representing tonight with the brand logo. But what I thought we'd talk about tonight is essentially how if you have a good foundation on your horse and you have a good communication system going, that you can do anything with your horse. I sometimes every once in a while I'll get people, they'll say, well, Steve, I want like a cow horse clinic, or Steve, I want a reining clinic, or Steve, I want a jumping clinic, or they like, what's the difference between like a ranch and trail camp and just a ranch camp, or what's the difference between a horsemanship camp and a trail camp, or there'll be little questions like that. And we do change things up a little bit, but the reason why we don't normally change a whole lot is because what I'm really working on with folks is the foundation language, which will allow them to do anything. And I remember one time we had this gal, she'd been to a few clinics and camps, and we've been working on these basic exercises, but I wasn't ever saying like, this is a such and such clinic, like name the discipline. And one day I was just like, okay, we're all going to line up and we're going to run this pattern. We had circles and stops and turns and lead change and stuff in there. And she's like, oh no, this isn't going to work for anybody. Like, we haven't worked on any of this stuff, she thought. But then when we had the class do it, people were like 90% successful on the first time with the pattern. And she's like, what? And I was like, well, yeah, we've actually been prepping for this. We just haven't labeled anything, right? These horses are ready for things um, because we've set the foundation, we've set the mindset, we've set the patterns, we've set all of these things. Now we're just putting them to use. But what sometimes people think is like, well, because I'm not putting them to use like right away, that we're not working on them. It's like, well, no, it's all the foundation pieces. Like if you're going to build a building, you got to have a foundation. And it doesn't matter how cool like the finishing trim is and stuff. If the foundation isn't right, it'll all just crumble anyhow. So you could spend a lot of time, painting the trim and doing whatever. But if the foundation isn't good, it's not going to hold. And I think a lot of times people get confused with that with horses. They're like, well, I want to do XYZ with a horse, which is great. Like I think people should do finished products for sure. They should be heading down a pathway with a horse for sure. But if you don't do enough foundation, or you skip the proper foundation and you get too far out there and you're just painting the trim, things are going to fall apart. You may have a couple of weeks where you're like, man, we're really cruising. And then all of a sudden, it'll crack. And I see it all the time with folks. And it's like, one of the biggest things we do, like I always encourage the kids riding colts and stuff. It's like, well, why aren't they'll see me ride a colt and they'll be like, well, your colt doesn't know a whole lot. It's like, well, he actually does. I just don't do a whole lot on him. They're like, well, what do you mean? Like, we don't see you out there working on a whole bunch. It's like, well, really what I'm working on is trying to build his confidence. Because if he's confident, he can do anything. And they're like, well, what else? I'm like, well, I'm working on his softness. I'm like, well, we don't see much. They're like, well, if he's soft, he'll try to stay soft. And then they're like, well, what else are you working on? It's like, well, I'm working on like his impulsion. They're like, well, what good's that? It's like, well, if he's always moving forward when I ask, I can do anything. It's like, if I'm moving towards a jump, he'll jump. If I'm moving towards a rundown, he'll run down. If I'm moving towards a gate, he'll go to the gate. If I'm moving away from home, he'll just go away from home. Like, that's all impulsion related. But if he's not good at impulsion, and say, I just try to get gates, or I just try to jump, or I just try to run down, he might actually not have the confidence in the basic piece, so then he'll fail. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like, because sometimes they get a little bit confused. Like tonight, I don't have my cowboy hat on tonight. I got a ball cap with our little logo on it, but I ride Western primarily. That's what I was raised with. That's what I like. All my tack's that way. But we also have a lot of English clients, and I love riding with the English clients. But sometimes people are like, "Well, Steve, you don't ride English." It's like, no, I ride English. I just don't like push the English angle, but I still like the English horses. Like, I have two very Englishy horses right now. I have a Lusitano and a Dutch Warmblood. They're very Englishy horses. And some of my horses in the past have done very well under English saddle, even though they were trained Western. But it's because the foundation that these horses have that they do well. So I just wanted to kind of get on here tonight and just make a quick mention of it. It's like that's the universal language. Okay, the foundation is a universal language. Like I was talking to somebody the other day. They're like, if you know English, you can work anywhere in the world. Just about every country out there has some form of English going for them. Um, and if you know English, you can go do a lot of things. Now, obviously, there are specialized languages in certain countries, but almost all of those countries also speak English. So if you know English, you can go more places. If you just know one other language, like, and that's it, you have to kind of be limited to those countries that speak that language. But with English, it's a little bit, it's not completely worldwide, but you can go to a lot more places if you know English, because it's kind of like the one piece that connects people in quite a few more countries. Okay. All right, so let's see who's on here tonight. Rebecca's on here, 509. We got some YouTubers on here. Yakety, I can't quite read that. This is so small. A few folks on here. Yeah, you guys reach out. Say hi if you're on here. Cool. How we doing, Rebecca? It's good to see you on here, 509. Hopefully the snow is melting here soon for you guys out there. Nobody's really gotten a whole bunch this year. Well, in the Northwest, I should say. There are parts in the country that are getting slaughtered for sure. Terry's on here. Howdy, Terry. Cool. Denise is on here. Hello, Denise. Uh, Yaki Martha Martinez. Cool. All right. Well, hello. YouTubers they got not just their straight up names. Bonnie's on here. Terry's on here. Lori's on here. IE as MG Sports Channel. Nice. Oh my gosh. And Tammy's on here too. So, well, it's good to see you guys. I just wanted to reach out here real quick. I'm out traveling this week and doing some stuff, but we're still trying to keep you guys going live and whatnot. But just kind of keep that in mind. It's like, maybe I want a specialized trail horse. Maybe I want like a Western pleasure horse. Maybe I want a reining horse. Different things, right? You want to do, or maybe I want to do a little bit of each. A very important key to getting to those places well is that foundation that you put on your horses. So when people come to these clinics and camps, they're like, well, what are we going to work on? It's like, well, mainly the foundation, because then just like what we found out at that one camp is if we work enough on that foundation, we can do anything. And when we're thrown another pattern or something to do, a lot of times it'll just work out. Now, does that mean it's perfect? Does that mean it's world champion status? No, it's not. Like, you still need to go get like specialized help in those areas. If you're going to like only like jump sticks, then you should probably go eventually to a person that jump sticks full time, right? If you're only doing like extreme trail stuff, you should probably go to somebody that does extreme trail stuff or whatever, right? Western equitation, that sort of thing. But leading up to that, getting that foundation set, if you fill in these holes that we work on, you're going to be so much more successful. And then you're just kind of refining the principles and the exercises for both you and the horse under that specific pathway for that discipline, rather than just trying to piece this whole horse together. Because what tends to happen is once you start putting pressure on a horse, and pressure doesn't always mean that you're putting pressure on the horse, it could just mean like, we're going to ride a dressage pattern for 20 minutes. That could be a lot of pressure to a horse. It's not that hard if it's a basic pattern, but just the fact like we're going to do this for 20 minutes or whatever. That could be, for some horses, it's a lot. Or, hey, we're going to go out on this trail ride, but it's going to be all by yourself. Or it's going to be with 10 horses. Or it's going to be with 100 horses. Those all shouldn't really matter, but they become a pressure point for the horse. They're all just a trail ride. But at some point, they're going to be saying to themselves, you know what? 90 horses was fine, but 100's way too much. I'm out, right? Mentally, something's going to happen. Emotionally, something's going to happen. But if you have a solid foundation, you can kind of have a conversation with your horse and be like, hey, you got to check back in here, buddy. You got to, like, you and me, it's just this team of two. There's 100 other people, yeah, and they're horses, but you and me, we need to hook up. So, oh my gosh, sketches here. Hello, Donita. Oh my God, waiting for snow to go. I feel like your husband should be building you an indoor soon. 509. Gia's doing good, Alicia. He's good. Yeah, he's sending in good reports. Yeah. So he's on the mend. He's got I don't know, probably another month or two of healing up, whatever. Be good for him to kind of chill and maybe read a book, or I got him a Netflix password, so hopefully he takes use of that. We'll see how that works out. So I don't. He's never been on Netflix, I don't think. So we'll see. Maybe I'm hoping he kind of like gets onto a series, and just like binge watches or something. We'll see if it works out. I don't know. Um, who all's been there? Anybody here binge watch something lately? Just like you're like, oh, I'm just gonna watch one episode. Next thing you know, it's like next episode starting in 15 seconds, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna stick around and watch this for just a second. And then next thing you know, it's like next episode starts in 15 seconds. You're like, oh shit, I just watched the whole thing. Oh my gosh. So yeah, maybe everybody put on here. What's your favorite show you've watched on a series lately? That I would love to hear that. Maybe I will forward that to G. If you guys have a series that you have enjoyed, hopefully on Netflix, so he can watch it. Paramount, I don't think he has a password. Different things. Hulu, he probably doesn't have a password, but he's got Netflix currently. If you have a favorite series that you could recommend to G, maybe we can forward that on to him. I wish Yellowstone. Hey, that's an easy one, Robert. Very good. Robert's like, Yellowstone. Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, Yellowstone's probably good enough. I don't know if is it even on Netflix? I haven't checked. I haven't turned on TV since NFR was probably the NFR 2024 before that. I'm about the same. I don't hardly watch that stuff anymore. Downtown Abbey, that's a good one. I had DirecTV was my last kind of TV stuff, and I don't know how many years ago. I just took the satellite down like last year, the dish, but it's been disconnected for like 6 years or something. I don't know. Okay, Anna's saying Doc is good. Ooh, Game of Thrones. I like that. Homeland, that's a good one. Downtown Abbey. I did Yellowstone when I was recovering from my shoulder surgery. I like that. Very good. Okay. Tulsa King, Robert's saying, is a good one. Land. Ooh, yeah. I caught a little Landman. Beth is on here. Hi, Beth. Uh, Landman is really good. I've only watched a couple episodes of that, but I was like, man, that's some good stuff because it's like a Yellowstone type series, right? Like same writer probably or team. Uh, Hello is the series. Just kidding. Hello, Gail. Lord of the Rings. That's such a good one. All right, I'll throw some of those out to G and see if he can pull through for us there with some of those. I'm gonna be looking for his review. Oh, another Homeland. Lisa says Homeland. I like that. Cool. All right. Well, you guys just keep that in mind. Foundation, foundation, foundation is the key. It is like the universal language for your horse to be able to survive in any environment. And what's so cool when I see um, so many of my clients understand that, adapt to it, and put it forward. It's pretty incredible to see. Um, like when it happens, it's like, oh, this horse. People are like, how many times has the horse done this? Oh, this is his first time, and he's like nailing it, and up against horses that are like, how many times has this horse done it? Like lots. And he's just kind of struggling through it. And then the new horses are like, oh, well, this is the same thing. Like, I know how to get soft. I know how to back up. I know how to side pass. I know all the things. I know how to listen, be respectful, and have a job and try and all these things. He's like, well, we'll just apply it here to this. It's like having somebody with good work ethic join a baseball team or a football team or something, or just someone who knows how to play sports, play a different, like, sport. They may not be the best, but they can play the game. They understand there's a rule structure and a team structure and athleticism structure, and there's a ball to chase around or something. So they can kind of jump in a little bit compared to a person who's done none of it, right? Absolutely none of it. Reacher, that's a good one. Okay, Landman, Reacher, Landmark, also Lincoln Lawyer. Boy, you guys have some of the good ones here. Man, I might have to pull up a Netflix account here. Didn't he meet Amber Marshall? Heartland. Oh God, that's right. He met Amber Marshall. He should, I mean, that'll keep you busy for like, yeah, 20 years, 20 seasons for sure. Just watch Alone in the Wilderness on Oh my God, the one where Dick Pronoke builds the big cabin in Alaska. Well, hey, let's recommend that one to him. Alone in the Wilderness. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good one, Kara. Marina? Ooh, Narnia. Everybody's like whipping out stuff. Kathy Kaiser's in the house, people. She's just tuning in. Hopefully you got your alerts working, Kathy. I don't know if you got, I mean, you must have if you're on here. You made it. So, cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys' suggestions um, for stuff for G. This has been a very productive live. I never know. Like, I had somebody ask the other day, they're like, do you ever know what you're going to talk about? Like, when you go live or something? It's like, honestly, half of the demonstrations I've ever done in my life, like if it's at an expo, I'll review the brochure a little bit. Like we send in the topics ahead of time, like months, but I forget about it. I'll ride in on my horse in front of a few thousand people and I'll look up, and after they introduce me, the announcer, and then I'll ask somebody like, hey, does anybody have a brochure? And then they'll be like, yeah, I got a brochure. I was like, can you open up and see what the topic of this demonstration is supposed to be? And then they'll tell me, and then I'll start talking. So for like an hour or whatever it is, they're like, and you can just go straight through. I'm like, yeah, I can just straight through it. I'm like, there's only so many things to talk about with horses, and if it's a horse, I could talk about it. It's not a big deal. So yeah, tonight we came in and talked about foundation, and we got G's little list for watching. Oh, what's this say? Nursemaid to Bunny. Oh, Homestead Rescue. I missed a few of these. Loved Reacher. Lioness. Oh yeah, I think I've saw Lioness, or heard about that. What else is this one here? Outlander Peaky Blinders. All right. Well, we know what y'all been watching. These are great. This one's just all emojis. Horse, Brazil, love. All right. Lincoln Lawyer. All right. Well, these are some good suggestions. I'm going to screenshot some of this, or maybe I should just say, yo, G, you need to look up last night's live, and there's a list of stuff for you to watch. I think that's what I'll do. Then you can also have the live to watch. So that's 20 minutes taken care of right there. That'll be good. So, all right. Ooh, Outlander and the Last Kingdom. Jeez, man, I might. Lisa, you've got some good stuff here. And then Outlander, Peaky Blinders. So a couple for the Outlander. All right. These are really good. Okay, I'm officially going to get going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for yet another live. Remember, foundation, such an important thing. And if you guys are wanting to get your foundation going and you're just not sure where to get started, just look right down here. I think it comes across the screen here at some point. equinemasterclass.com is the place to be. We'll get you guys hooked up, taken care of, get all that foundation and the extra stuff. We actually do some specialty stuff in Equine Masterclass as well. And we crank out movie lists, apparently. My problem with Star currently is consistency due to illness and care taking. Yeah, don't worry, Star. When you get the time back and the weather gets better and you're ready, she will be there for you. All right. Well, you guys have a good night, and thank you for tuning in. Another yes on Outlander. All right. Outlander is kind of for the win. All right. Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you.